We're carrying on. Can we start again?
Welcome to Workplace Conversations. Real people, real stories, real workplaces.
Hello and welcome to Workplace Conversations, the AIMWA podcast. I'm Sandra Holloway and I'm the Chief Customer Officer here at AIMWA. Today I have a very special guest with me. We are moving to part 2 of our podcast with Natalie Locke, who is one of my best friends, but she's also the breakfast host on Nova 937. Thanks for being here again, Nat.
It's a pleasure to still be here.
No, I know you didn't go anywhere, but we just reset. So I think part 1, we unpacked your journey, which was going from a chiropractor to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I don't want to miss that again, to comedy to radio.
Yeah.
I think this episode I really want to unpack the radio life.
Sure, I know.
And what that's like.
Yes.
So I guess the first thing I think people wonder about is that physical reality of breakfast radio. And I do not know how you have, how many years has it been now?
23 and a half.
I do not know how you have kept up early mornings for 23 years.
No, nor do I, Sandra. I am not naturally, this is what I get asked all the time. What time do you get up is the first question. And do you still get up early on weekends and on holidays? The answer is I get up at 4 a.m. And no, I do not get up at 4 a.m. on weekends and on holidays because to me it's very unnatural. I'm not naturally an early riser, but I am capable of forming a sentence if I do get up early, which not everybody is, right? Yeah. Not everybody can be outgoing and happy and whatever at 6 a.m.
How do you do that?
I don't know. That's just...
So coffee?
Yeah, like I can't run fast, but I can be happy at 6 a.m. Okay. Coffee helps, definitely. Yeah. I think everybody just has a skill set. Yeah. that happens to be mine.
Happens to be yours.
Yeah, right. But the alarm, there's several of them. The alarms, I'm not somebody that goes, I always wake up, I don't need my alarm. No, I need that alarm.
How many alarms do you have?
3:55, 4, 4:05, 4:10, 4:20, and then the 4:30 is the absolute.
If you're really
7.
struggling. 7. Have you ever been late?
Yeah. No, one time, I reckon about 2 years ago, my phone just died in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't a battery issue. The whole thing just shut down. And my alarm didn't go off. But I've never missed a moment of on air. So I did wake up.
There?
I got there, yeah. I got there at about 5 to 6, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One time early on, I woke up and I looked at the time and it said 5:15, and back then we were on air at 5:30.
Yeah.
And so, I literally jumped up and I'm running down the hallway and then and trying to dial my producer at the same time, and then I realised it was Saturday.
Ouch.
Yeah, so that hurt.
That hurt.
That was like in the first few weeks too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
awful.
Physical toll that takes.
Yeah, like that you do get accustomed to a level of exhaustion that is probably close to what, new parents go through.
Yeah.
Just that constant. I wear a Fitbit, so I know how little sleep I get, and it's like seriously depressing. So wow. And I'm not somebody that can easily go to sleep early, so I don't go to bed at 8.
Well, because we'll go out and you'll go home at 9:30 or something, and you've got to get up in the morning.
Yeah, I rarely get to bed before 10 o'clock. So when you look at that, that's you're getting.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I don't recommend it. I'm an idiot. I should have known better, but it's just not something that I can't naturally go to sleep early. So I do have a nap in the afternoon though, because I've got the luxury to do that. So yeah, I'll have an hour in the afternoon on the couch.
So what do you do to keep yourself well through that? Because obviously, like, sleep deprivation can create, you're not having
cognitive problems.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I didn't sleep very well last night. That's why I couldn't get it out.
Because you were too intimidated to talk to me. Yeah, I get it.
No, it's just the sleep deprivation, not your intimidation. But, so cognitive issues or also, mental health issues, brain fog, all those things. How do you get past that? What do you do?
I'm lucky in that my constitution is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I don't get sick a lot. I don't, and mentally I seem to cope I'm pretty resilient. I don't know, which is just luck more than anything. But I like to do. I have things that I like to do. You know, I exercise frequently, so much so that I built a gym at my house.
You did, yeah. Same.
I have to park my car on the street, but I have a really impressive gym.
Does it have a neon sign in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it does. How do you have a gym that doesn't have a neon sign in it? How would you know when to exercise?
Yeah.
So frequent exercise, and then just, I don't know, I'm pretty good at switching off. So I'm not somebody, I might not get to bed until 10.
Yeah.
I don't lie awake at night with things going through my head. Like, it's a real rarity for me. So I am able to switch off really easily.
Yeah.
And when I do sleep, I sleep well.
Yeah.
So I'm not tossing and turning and waking up frequently during the night. So, all of those things help.
Yeah.
But and I love to travel. So when I do have downtime, and we get good holidays in our job, it's just that there's no flexibility. So a bit like a school teacher, in that our holiday times are set by ratings and non-ratings periods. But when I do, I make sure I do something significant with it, and I love to travel. So that's one of the ways that I just bring a bit of balance and perspective to my life.
So how do you do anything in the morning to actually switch yourself on? Like, do you have a routine, like some?
Not this week, because I have been more tired than usual this week. But I try at that 3:55 alarm to get up and actually just do 15, 20 minutes on the treadmill, just walking, nothing over the top. But that does fire you up a bit. Yeah, I actually feel much better for doing that. And then when I get into the office, I make a coffee.
Yeah.
And then it's just chit-chatting. Like, honestly, it's nothing, there's no secret potion or anything. Caffeine.
What do you do when your energy's down, or when you're feeling off, or how do you get through that?
You just do.
Yeah.
You just do, because and then it's like, you probably wouldn't be able to tell by listening to our show if somebody's not feeling well.
Yeah.
But after that, you're just wiped out. So it's like you pour every ounce of energy that you have into those 3 hours, and then after that, you pay the price.
Yeah.
So, I think we're just all good at kind of soldiering on.
Doing it.
And, doing
the job.
I mean, it's not
being
exactly,
a professional.
we're not digging holes. Like, there's nothing physical, really.
I know that you
but it's
say
like
that.
You do have to be mentally sharp.
And you have to have prepped the day before. In the morning.
Yes.
So it's not like you just rock in there blind, and you actually have to know, the
yes,
format
that's
of
right.
the show.
That's right. We know what's happening. If we're prepped on, what interviews, if it's somebody that we don't really know well, we will have actually either watched what they're doing or read some of their book or that kind of thing. So there's a bit of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that sort of stuff happening.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things I know about you, but other people probably don't, is that you are who you are every day on the radio.
Yeah.
So there is very little.
There's no artifice, and I think because I'm a really bad actor.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just not good at pretending. But also, I think that would be exhausting to have a radio persona or a public persona and then be completely different. I don't know. To me, that just would be just untenable.
It would be pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But
I know there are some people that do it, but it's not for me. To me, it's just far easier to be natural.
Yeah. And one of the things that I know about you is you're the same.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. But also,
I talk about the weather a bit less in person.
Yeah, that's true. You do. But for now, you've made me laugh.
Yeah,
but
that's right. I don't do time calls every 3 minutes. But
I guess the other thing is, though, people out there know a lot about you. So
yes.
like what I know about you, correct me if I'm wrong, is you're actually quite a private person.
That's probably accurate. Yeah, that's true.
So, but when you're on air, you can be quite public. So you have been through different stages in your life publicly, which I just want to unpack that. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Because you've been through surgeries, you've been through breakups, you've been through all of that stuff where things haven't been great with you.
Yes.
To be honest, I loved my time at Nova. I stopped listening to radio when I left. Sometimes the whole world knows more about you than I do.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing catch up when we catch up, which I quite like because I don't know everything.
That we've got something to talk about.
Exactly. But how do you cope with that? So when you're going through, a public breakup or what do you do there?
Yeah. I mean, I think when it's your story, you're the gatekeeper of it essentially. So,
Yeah.
you know, and even like the start of a relationship is probably even harder than a breakup because you don't know whether that's leading anywhere. You don't know when to start talking about it. You don't know where you've got their privacy that you need to respect as well. That I think is a trickier thing to navigate.
Yeah.
So, and you do have to be conscious of other people's privacy. Just because you live your life publicly doesn't mean your family or your friends or your partner.
Hello. I had many phone calls.
Yes, but you worked at the station, so you were fair game.
Yeah, I had many phone calls. Sandy, will you just jump on air and talk about this?
Tell me that story you told me last night.
My friend Sandy,
Yeah, that's right. But you were a vested interest because you had to sell it. But other people aren't. You know, they're not necessarily. And even to this day, people will tell me something and said, "Please don't put that on the radio. Please don't put that on the radio."
Yeah.
And you go, "Yeah, no, I have to respect that. Like that's your choice." So it is. You do have to navigate it, but the more you do it, the easier that becomes.
Okay.
And then you make about your personal stuff. You make a conscious decision about what you want to tell the world.
Yes.
So a good example of that is when I had gastric sleeve surgery.
Yes.
Now I was even from the outset, I'm like, I'm definitely going to talk about this. One, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
And people are genuinely interested in
Yeah.
it. And perhaps because not many people talk about it. You know, there's a big stigma around it. I had so many people after I started talking about it say, "Oh, I had this done and I've never told anyone."
Wow.
They've never told anybody at their work. They've never told anybody other than their immediate family. And there are people that I know of who have had it done and who have not talked about it publicly.
Yeah.
Which is their right, you know, but part of that just I was very determined to sort of shake some of the stigma around it.
Yeah, perfect.
If in whatever limited capacity I've got to do that, but I didn't. Yeah, to me, it's not something that I need to hide away. So I was very happy to talk about it.
Is there anything you won't talk about?
I won't tell you.
Yeah. That'll be right.
I mean, is there anything I won't talk about? There might be stuff that I haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it just needs
Do you need time sometimes?
Sometimes you do. Yeah. Sometimes upon reflection, or sometimes it'll be that down the track you're talking about something that leads into a story that relates to something that you hadn't talked about earlier, but now you're more comfortable doing it because it's more relevant or more,
Does it make it harder when you talk about it on air? Or I guess that time will give you you time to process it yourself.
Yeah, that's right. And you can also sort of think about how you want to convey that story a little bit more. Yeah.
And what about the public? Like, do people come and speak to you about like the stories?
Yeah. So early on when I was still working as a chiropractor, I would forget that people are listening, including the people who are my clients. And so I'd be like treating them and they would say something about a story that I told on and I'd be like, how do you know about that? That's what I talked about it on the radio.
Yeah.
So yes, you forget that there is a broad audience listening and that you will interact with them.
Yeah.
So now it's great. Like if people know something because I told them that I'm like, great, you're listening. Like that's fantastic. But it did take me a while to get used to the fact that, or to remember that people are actually listening.
Is there anything you regret talking about?
No, not really. Nothing springs to mind, which is a good sign.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, there may have been something at the time where I went, maybe I shouldn't have missed the mark with that, or
yeah.
But nothing that where I still shudder to this day because it was so awful.
Let's talk about what happens when you're out in public. So again, I forget. You're just my friend. We went to a comedy show the other day. And this happens quite often, right? Went to a comedy show, we came out and we're standing in the street saying goodbye and someone goes, I love your column.
Yes, yeah.
And I can't remember what else she said.
Yes.
The other thing that happens is we can be somewhere and we're talking and we're having a big D&M and I'm probably giving you a full rundown of my life or whatever because you're quite private and you don't do that necessarily unless I probe. But I'll look around and I can see tables listening. To our conversation, and then I have to remind myself to okay.
And people come up to me in the street and go, geez, your mate's a mess.
Yeah, well, fair, probably a fair comment. But
Not true.
how do you deal with that? Because do you forget that or?
Yeah, all the time. Like I think you would go mad if you were constantly reminding yourself of that. I don't. It does surprise me when people do. I don't know because if it's I don't know if you're in Subiaco, you go our office is in Subiaco. People know you're there. It doesn't. It doesn't faze me at all.
Yeah.
But I was at the Vatican.
You were at the Vatican.
I was at the Vatican, and this guy came up and went, "Oh my God, are you Nat?" And I'm like, "You're the Pope. How do you know me?" No, I wasn't the Pope. And it was just a random guy from Perth who was travelling around, and he'd spotted me and came up and said hello. And I'm like, "This is when it's incongruous like that. It blows my mind." Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right?
So you're driving to work, and you see yourself on a billboard.
The back of the bus. The back of the bus is the one that gets me.
Everywhere.
It's wild. It's wild.
What do you like?
No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
No sense.
It's just a little farm girl. What are you talking about? It's crazy.
I was a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it feel intrusive at all or?
No, it doesn't feel intrusive, but I do find it funny. It's
Yeah.
funny to me rather than intrusive. Yeah.
Have you ever had moments in your career where you're like, oh yeah, no, my ego's getting out of control, and you like actually
When I'm
have to
having a
ground myself again?
full diva situation.
Yeah. I mean,
what do you mean I have to fly economy?
Yeah, I know. Have you ever done that?
No.
No, I know that you're not that person.
No.
But I can imagine, particularly as you're starting to become successful.
Yes.
You know, and you're a leader in that station, and and we'll talk about the Nova culture.
I mean, I hope not. I hope I haven't.
Yeah.
But but maybe I have, and everybody's like, oh, look at her.
I guess in comparison to other people, though, you wouldn't have been. Like, you know, if you've worked in media or
Yes.
in radio, you do actually have to deal with ego.
We hear stories about other people, Carl Sandler, it's what? Where it's a completely different scenario
Yes.
to what. But also, we're just a little old show in Perth. Like, you know, we don't get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, it's not. I just don't think. Like, I had two older brothers. Like, I'm used to being beaten down.
Yeah.
I know not to get ahead of myself.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you know,
I grew up on a farm. Like, it was very, there's no pretense about that stuff. So
yeah. So let's talk about the culture at Nova. Right?
Yeah.
So I know when I started, it was all in, right?
It was all encompassing. That's true. And at the time, most people didn't have kids. There were a lot of single people.
Yep.
It was a wild old time. We had a great time.
It
was really fun. And it was a party culture essentially in that we would get together outside of work and have a few drinks with one another. It was actually a really fun time.
It was.
And then everybody settled down.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what happens.
Yeah,
right,
no,
in age.
exactly. That's right.
But so you've been probably pivotal in the culture.
No, I haven't.
You've been there for that long.
Oh, yeah, just because I've been there.
Yeah, but of course, because you have been across that entire. And there's a couple of other people who've been across that entire
There's a handful
time.
of us. I think there's 4 still that have been there the whole time. Yeah.
So the culture in the beginning, from what I remember, was so client focused. It was all about, the station and being inclusive and welcoming clients into the station. I'm just trying to remember other things around the culture at that time. I mean, if you worked there, you lived there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We worked hard and we partied hard.
We worked hard.
Yeah.
And we partied hard. But gosh, we worked hard. There was no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the hustle was real for you guys, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it was for you too, because you were trying to rate. You were trying to put a show together.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone in that station back then that didn't work really, really hard.
No, that's true. Yeah.
How has that I guess the culture that back then, how has that carried through over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is still like that vibe of it that we are different to other workplaces, that, there's a tightness that's everybody does know one another, although our running joke is that is to get 5 sales reps and get Sean to name them.
Yeah. But that hasn't changed. Yeah.
But I think, that it's a very tight. There are some, workplaces where individual departments would rarely even talk to one another.
Yes.
That is not the case at Nova. It is a very tight-knit group. Everybody does know one another. We do a lot of team building's the wrong word, but we do a lot of stuff where we are that we do as a team.
Yeah.
We have our individual teams that are super tight, but on top of that, the broader staff, it's close. It is really close.
And how do you maintain that as an organisation?
It's I guess there's conscious efforts to make sure that we are gathering together socially on regular, but we have, ratings drinks and things like that, ratings lunches and stuff. That's still a thing. It's part of radio culture, but it does also build that tightness and the bond between the different departments and individual team members. Yeah, I don't know. I think because I've never, as I talked about before, I've only ever worked, this is the only corporate job I've ever worked in. So I can't
wouldn't call it corporate.
Yeah, no. Well, compared to a one-man chiropractic band, it is. Yeah. So it's, I don't, that's the, I don't know anything else.
You don't know any different.
Yeah.
And you just turned up and was you and you were you.
Yes,
and that's what
exactly.
happened.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, and I think probably one thing that you wouldn't see from the outside as a listener is that tightness, and also I think the bubble that creates.
Yes.
For
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good description of it.
It's sort of like a bubble in society that exists.
Yeah.
But I think with that bubble, that creates the magic that you hear on air.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because you've got
and the other thing is that as the industry has sort of changed, that we now do the same job with fewer people. So it becomes even more tight knit because there's fewer people we have to rely on. There's a few. We've probably got more people in our team, but the other departments have shrunk. We don't have a general manager anymore. There's it's kind of been, there's a contraction, and some jobs are now done from Sydney, that kind of thing. So as a result, what's left become even more tight-knit, I think.
Even closer.
Yeah.
How do you, when those changes happen within a station, how do you maintain that culture? Because, it's
tricky.
Life changes, right?
Yes,
and
that's right.
Understandable.
And when redundancies are made, it's demoralising for everybody.
Yeah.
The people that are leaving, the people that are, there's a bit of survivor guilt, in some cases. So the people that are left behind and have to pick up extra work because, they've turned 2 jobs into one, that kind of thing, it can be a bit disheartening. Yeah. And I think you have to be then conscious to make sure that those people feel valued, that their work is acknowledged, that that everybody's given opportunity to let off steam, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take you back to a time I wasn't there. This is where I might make
Yeah, right, okay.
So
I know what she's going to say.
Yeah, I know. I'll take you back to a time in the culture. So I, was at Nova for 12 years.
Yes.
Absolutely loved every minute I was there. I left to go and...
Was it exactly 12 years?
Was it around
That's
12.
when I gave up chiro. How about that? Maybe
Was
it's
it
your
really?
fault.
Maybe. Well, you were no longer adjusting me
Yeah,
3
that's
times
right.
a week for free. So, I think it was 12. Anyway, the culture was amazing. Loved every minute. Was an absolute training ground for me.
Yes.
And I know how tight knit it was then.
Yes.
And we had a boss at the time. He was my direct boss.
Yes.
His name was Jamie Martinovich.
Yes.
And I don't know how many years after. I think it had been 4 or 5 after I left.
It was in 2019.
Yeah, 2019. Jamie became ill.
Yes.
Went into hospital and didn't come out.
That's right.
So he passed away from pneumonia.
Yes.
Jamie was, he was the culture in so many ways.
He was like the dad figure in that station. Look, you made me cry.
I told you. I know, I'm sorry.
He definitely was just because he had dad energy as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean.
I mean, I used to sit in his office every, Friday, and we used to just talk
for hours. He
played
played the piano accordion. Come on.
I know, he'd come out with his piano accordion, he'd play. We'd have like full, what I would describe father and daughter arguments, even though he wasn't my father.
Yes, same.
He was from a culture perspective, he was the...
Yes,
Sandra,
the heart and soul. Yes.
Heart and soul, family first. If you had something you needed to deal with, he would be. And back then, it was a really tricky workplace because it wasn't, not that it wasn't progressive, but it was a different time. So I remember when I went on.
Yes. And you were one of the first.
I was the first.
Yeah, one of our staff members to take mat leave. They honestly didn't know how to navigate it as a workplace.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
And so when I said I was going to come back 3 days, 2 from home, I remember that it was like...
That was revolutionary.
It was
like,
revolutionary.
Oh my God, who would do that?
But if it was not for Jamie...
Yes.
I would never have been
Yes.
able to do that.
Yeah, that's
because
right. He
fought
backed you
for
in.
me.
Yeah,
He
that's
backed
right.
me in.
Yeah.
And that changed that whole culture.
Yes, well, you pioneered it essentially in that
Thank
you're
you.
like, it can work.
Pioneer.
Look,
Yeah,
see
it
how
can work.
It can work.
And I knew,
That's right.
I knew the
Now people work from home all the
I
time.
know, thank you, COVID. But no, I knew the importance of that too at the time.
Yes,
so there was
that's
no
right.
way I was going to.
The pressure was on you.
The pressure was
to
on me
be
to make it work.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
the flag bearer. Yeah.
the flag bearer. So he supported me through
Yes.
that. And then he continued to support me when I had young children.
Mm.
And like, I loved that man like nothing
Yeah,
else, right?
yeah.
I wasn't there when he passed.
Yes.
I was working elsewhere, but I got a text or a call.
Yeah.
And I just beelined it to the station.
Yeah.
And I came into the station and I sat in our friend Antonelle's office for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And we just sat there. Like I'd been in the station for
Yes.
ages.
It was very hard for everybody to process. Yes.
How do you get through that
Yeah,
as
I
a
know.
workplace?
And yeah, it was the most difficult thing. Yeah, it was the most, well, because also our boss Gary Roberts had a critical fall.
Yes.
And was and an acquired brain injury where he was in a coma, and so we'd had this period of real sort of
Flux.
like it was tumultuous. It was horrendous, and so with Jamie it was almost unbelievable because he was off work for a little while, so we were used to the idea of him not being in the office, and we didn't work one-on-one with him like the sales team did, but it's like, oh yeah, Jamie, he'll be back, back. And then it was like, oh, they've put him into an induced coma. It's a standard thing to do. The antibiotics will kick in because his body won't have anything else to deal with.
Yeah.
And then he just never came out of it.
never
And it was
came out.
like, it was very hard. It's like somebody going on holidays and not coming back.
Yeah.
It's like he just resigned while he was on holidays or something. It was a very weird sort of vibe. Like it's hard to comprehend somebody that's there every day them not being there.
No.
But because it's like, oh no, but they said he's coming back,
Yeah.
It was a strange time and weird to get your head around.
Weird to get your head around. And the one thing I noticed is that back then when that happened, everyone else stood up to lead. So, and I was on the outside. So
Yeah.
this was incredible. So
Yeah.
I was watching what occurred during that, like just from the outside, watching what occurred after he passed.
Yes.
And I could see, at the time that not that there was, conflict, but there was always competition between the agency team and the direct team and all this sort of stuff. And so
it's a competitive environment.
It's very competitive. And you could see the change in some of the people who had been so competitive over time and then them all just going, doesn't matter. Let's just band together.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So, those sorts of things do, unfortunately, have a, that you have to go through that, but they do have a galvanizing aspect to them that it's trauma bonding essentially. Like it does bring people, you don't wish for it, like, and you never wish it upon anybody, but everybody came out of it, definitely bonded more strongly.
Do you think it's a different place because of that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think so.
It changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brought everyone together. I'm sorry I made you cry.
No, that was really mean.
So let's go lighter. Okay, radio's changed a lot, right? So what has changed most about your role since you started in 2002?
Oh, well, when I started, so I've never listened back to anything, but I know that other people have listened back to the first 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, you never really said anything. I was very much sort of probably the third wheel. Damo was a very outgoing, funny,
But he
and he told
physical.
a great story. Yeah, I know. Yeah, which is why it didn't ultimately work. And also his focus was really on doing stand-up, and it's very difficult to do both well, just because there's too many gigs that are during the week and you've got to get up the next morning. But he was a good storyteller and a great character. Like as a person and a character in the show, he was amazing.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the anchor either. So I kind of just was chiming in with bits and pieces here and there. But it wasn't until, so when Craig's role was made redundant, pretty much, and that happened at the beginning, like on a Monday or a Tuesday, which is unheard of in radio. Normally, if you're going to get made redundant, it's on a Friday. They're just like, don't come Monday. And so the fact that it happened like that, and then we got pulled into the office and said, and they were like, okay, Nat, you're anchoring from now on. I was like, I don't know how to do that. And they're like, you'll be fine. Figure it out. Like, it's not that hard. And it's not that hard.
But you were the first female anchor.
Yeah, this is what staggers me, right? Because I was told, another friend of ours, Tanya Simpson, who worked with us at Nova at the time, she had to present that they would do a big group meeting every week with all of the people in her role, sort of nationally. And they had to bring to the table a way that each individual station their own station was innovating. And this was innovation, was a woman.
I can't.
A woman saying the time.
A woman saying the time was
Just because there was no female anchor on any commercial radio station in metropolitan station in the country.
And that was.
And you just go,
I mean,
why?
that wasn't that long ago.
And so we're talking 2004, probably 2004.
God,
End of 2004.
It's lucky we learned how to tell the time.
All right, I know.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so that just a woman being in that anchor position that essentially is driving the show, just keeping it on track, is really unusual. And to be fair, that structure is a bit unusual anyway, of having one of the on-air personalities be the anchor. Often, like, big shows will have an independent anchor who's pressing the buttons, and then they'll come on, and then the talent, for want of a better word, will do the storytelling or whatever.
Yeah.
So we just combined that role. And so I just had to take that and make of it what I could.
Did you ever get criticised for the fact you were the first female anchor, or did you?
No, I mean, I found out about that innovation thing a fair way down the track.
Right.
And I'm like, are you joking? Like, that's innovation? And it's like, in this industry it is.
I mean, there was so much more that we did that was innovation.
Yeah, right,
so
right. Yeah, I know.
You were a trailblazer.
Trailblazer. Yeah,
back in the
crazy.
day. Wow. So what has kept you there?
Yeah, it's a great question, isn't it? It's a really fun way to make a living. Like, it's a fun job. I get paid well.
Yeah.
Or like the hardest part is getting up early.
Yeah.
Everything else is like a dream. It's a dream. You literally you're talking to celebrities. You're sitting in a room laughing with your friends. Like, it's great fun. It's great fun. So there's that.
Yeah.
But at the time when I started, I'm like, if I can get 2 years out of this is fun. And then, like, how long could I do it for? And I'm like, I don't think I could see myself doing it past like 45. We've passed 45. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I very much went in it with the attitude where, as long as they want me, I'll keep turning up. So yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And from a ratings point of view, we're as successful as we've ever been. So
absolutely.
It's like,
why wouldn't
while the going's good.
Absolutely. But you have started doing comedy again.
Yeah, I know, but
that.
very much just dipping my toe in.
Yeah, I know, but you're very good.
Not to the point of like ditching in my career and going on the road.
Well, what do you think you would do?
Yeah, it's a great question, because I can't be a chiropractor again.
Well, couldn't you just go back and get your license, or is that
it's
too
a
hard?
really difficult process.
Yeah.
That and I know friends that have done it after they were out of practice because they had children mainly. But it's like doing the final year of uni again,
right?
And all the final exams. Like, so you're studying 5 years worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just don't know if I've got it in me to do that. Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I've got no other options. That's why I'm sticking with it.
No other options. So, but what brings you the most amount of joy in the role that you're in at the moment, do you think?
I mean, it's fun. It is genuinely great fun. So when we're laughing around, having a good time, we're actually having a good time.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And every now and then somebody will tell you what you mean to them.
Yeah.
So one time I met this lady, and she was running a cafe in Fremantle, and she was from South Africa. And she said, I might cry at this too because it is actually quite emotional. She said that when she and her husband arrived in Australia, they knew nobody.
Yeah.
And they came on that visa where you have to buy a business.
Okay, yep.
So they were driving around looking at businesses. And she said, so they were in the car a lot, and they just listened to us. And she said she thought of us as they're only friends.
Oh,
I know,
Nat.
right? I know. And you just go, you forget.
No,
you
I need
forget
a
that
tissue.
you're actually a part of people's lives.
Yeah.
And even now I have people come up to me and say something and then went, oh, God, I forgot that we're actually not friends. Because they feel that that's the connection that they have with you. You go, you're doing something right if people feel that way about
my
you.
gosh,
Says,
yes.
I'm crying again.
Oh, I see. I've
Twice.
made you cry twice. I'm
Going with the tissue
I'm
again.
sorry. Let me find something else that's going to...
Maybe do a weather call. I'm happy to talk about weather.
And what is the weather today? 24 degrees. No. So I guess we'll start to round it up.
Okay.
All right. So I've made you cry twice.
I've got no more tears to give.
I don't want to do it again. Firstly, this one. Who's your favourite interview in your career?
It's tough because I do get asked this.
Yeah.
People ask who's the best and who's
Yeah.
the worst. And
I'm not going to ask you the worst, just the best.
Oh, that's an easy one to answer because the best is like on any given moment, like, and we forget so much.
Top
like it's
five.
like, I think Steve Carell was an amazing chat, but we didn't get to meet him in person, so it's just something that was on the phone. He was incredible. Cameron Diaz was also incredible.
Yeah.
So that was their two really fun chats. Probably the most impressive one in person was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yeah, where we got flown to Sydney for one of the Terminator movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had, 3 minutes, 5 minutes with him, which was incredible. Like he was amazing. So yeah, they're probably the top three, I think.
I remember you saying once that Lady Gaga was the most...
She was incredible, actually, yeah. So
Yeah.
we got to go to just a hotel in Perth. This is
Yeah.
a long time ago. And we were in a little conference room and she came in and we chatted to her for probably 20 minutes, which is a long time. And yeah, she's an incredibly smart woman. Yeah, she was very impressive.
I remember you saying that she was the smartest person I've ever
Yes,
met.
yeah. She's very intellectual. So she can talk about a lot of things on a very intellectual level. Yeah, which you don't see a lot.
Yeah, no. And obviously she's so successful.
Yes, that's right. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Her success isn't by accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I think we'll probably end on a couple more questions. What would you miss the most if it all ended tomorrow?
Just that, like our immediate team is so tight knit. So just turning up and hanging out with those people every day, that would be because the bonds are real there. And that's not just on air, but the broader team around us. So our producers and our digital content producer, and that team is so tight, and we all get on. And it would be a shame to not see those faces every day.
And so it's all about people with you.
Yeah,
really.
it is really.
That's the common theme throughout.
It's hard to believe I worked on my own for so long.
Well, you did it, and you had your clients.
That's true.
And you had your receptionist who was...
That's true. Pam was great.
I remember Pam.
Yep.
So last question. What do you know about yourself now that you did not know when you started this in 2002?
Great question. That's what people say when they're padding to
I can pat it out a bit more if you want me to.
No, I think I have a lot more confidence in my ability to do things. And I think last year, I'll preface this by saying last year I was asked to speak at my old high school's graduation.
Oh.
And I'm like, geez, that's a tough gig because you've got to impart some wisdom. And I sort of wrote out a speech and then left it at home.
Oh, gosh, no.
So then I had to wing it, I still had an idea of where I went, but the things that I was conscious of is you never know whether you can do something until you try it.
Yes.
But the other thing is you can't expect to be good at something immediately, and that a lot of people go, I'll give that a go. Oh, I'm no good at it. But really there's got to be some determination and the ability to keep turning up even when your ratings are horribly low, and you keep plugging away and learning and asking people what you should do better and all of those sorts of things, so that you are moving yourself forward rather than just going, oh, that was too hard, I'm going to go and try and find something else. Just that knowledge that you can get better at things. You don't have to nail it immediately.
Just to keep turning up.
Just keep turning up and listening to people and learning from them and deferring to their wisdom and, and sometimes they're wrong. We've had air checks where experts from our company have come in and said, you should do this. And you go, I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong, but I'll do it your way until it's proven that that's wrong, because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then you evolve from that. I think it's about evolving and being open to change, not staying the same. Yeah. Even now, we're successful, but we are always going, how can we? Is there a way that we can reflect this better? Is the way we're always looking to do something just a little bit better? Or if we did something last year that was amazing, it's like, how can we do that again but level it up? We're always trying to evolve, because it's evolve or die really in this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie Locke. Thank you
Sandra Holloway.
for being on Workplace Conversations. That is the most fun I've had for a long time.
Should have been sponsored by Kleenex. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll try and sell it to Kleenex later. But no, I really appreciate you coming in for the chat. This has been Workplace Conversations, and we'll see you on the next episode.